the number of very large companies for which their new revenues are less profitable than their existing revenues. They're growing themselves into reduced profitability. Now that should be a big light going off that there's a serious problem with this whole process, that we're growing ourselves into. And often, and I will argue that very often the nature of the problem is that they're totally externally customer driven, and God forbid that we should ever look internally and understand what it is we can produce efficiently, because everybody knows that's not the marketing concept. The marketing concept is we got to be customer driven. So, example, a company we were working with. This company was involved in producing a lot of products for new architectural design. So when you're building office buildings and things like that. And they told me when we started working with this company that the number one thing we needed to do is we needed to sell more of the very differentiated products. And we needed differentiated services, differentiated everything, more and more, because we were a high-cost manufacturing company, so we needed higher prices to cover those higher overheads. Okay. And so that made very good sense. So we're working with them to try to figure out, what the value of the differentiation is and justify the value of the differentiation and all the standard stuff in the book. But at one point here, one of the product managers comes to me and says, "Can you help me? Because I've got my product and I think it's a great product. It's highly differentiated. We can get a premium, but they want me to produce it in this plant where it's not going to be profitable. And I want to produce it in the plant that's profitable." And I said, "Well, why would they want you to do it in the plant that's not profitable?" And they said, "Because the plant that's profitable is already full." And so then we start looking into this, and I start understanding that what's going on here is that these people. So I'm sorry. So then I went back and I said, well, let me understand what the elements of those costs were, because I wanted to see what those costs, because why would it be so much more, different labor rates or things like that? No. The big problem in the plant that was unprofitable is that that plant had a whole lot higher overhead allocations and higher allocations for some inventory holding and things like that. And then I got deeper down into this. And I started, and a light started coming on for me. So I started looking at some historical things. And I suddenly came to the realization that this company was differentiating themselves into unprofitability. Because they didn't know, they didn't understand, as most companies don't understand, that the cost numbers that they were getting from the costing people in finance that were for the purpose of paying income taxes were total fictions and total allocations, okay? But a lot of what was going on here was that, for example, every product that they produced had the same allocation of costs for overhead. Every product had the same allocation of costs for plant overhead. Everyone had the same allocation of costs for R&D. Everyone had the same, you go through all of these sorts of things. But it turned out that some products turned a whole lot faster than others.